Hello, everyone, and welcome back in for another episode of the Main Event Mixer here on the Main Event Wrestling Network. We got a special episode for you guys this week, a little last minute planning, but hey, we made it out regardless. And I am, of course, your host, Mr. OTM from the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast. And I decided to bring in my brother from the Main Event Wrestling Network. You know his channel, Tino's Time, always streaming live. Tino, what's going on, my friend?
Hey man, I appreciate you having me on. And after last night's NXT, man, I just need this to hurt. It needs to come faster. So I'm excited to talk about it. And it's like, I didn't think that we'd be able to see that last night. It just felt like I text you, we gonna be eating good because it just every minute it seemed like they just kept adding something good and for this show and just really exciting to see. And wrestling's just so hot right now. So
It definitely is. That's why we got the network, buddy. That's why we're looking to grow. We're talking wrestling almost every day here at the Main Event Wrestling Network. So make sure you're following us on all the socials at main event _ net so you don't miss any of our content. We are also joined by a man who will be in attendance, as will Tino, for the NXT debut in the on the CW, I should say. It is the founder of Elite Endorsements, Mr. Jordan Kamer. Sir, how you doing?
What's up, brother? Can't wait to go to NXT with you and enjoy some fun times seeing CM Punk back and, spending it with my brother.
I tell you what, we have not attended a show together. We've been a part of a lot of independent wrestling shows backstage. We've got to hang out there, but I've never actually gone to a big show with you, so that's exciting. Tino, I know you're going. Where are your seats at? Do you know?
I am sitting in section 111. I think it's I. So if people don't know, it goes alphabetically. So I think it's like right in the middle. So yeah, I think it's pretty close to where I sat for Hell in the Cell when because I went to the one I think you went to with Cody
Yep.
and Seth. So it's the 100 level. That's all I care about. So I'll be pretty close. So I'm excited. I've been to a takeover before, but I've never actually been to like an NXT. So this is another one that I'm marking off my bucket list of shows, and then got to check off all those AEW ones now because you know. Oh yeah.
I tell you what, we got to get you to an AEW All Out. We're
Oh
there
man.
every single year.
Oh man. After watching the show on Saturday, I was so sad I wasn't there. I was like, dang, I was so sad.
It was a good time, and we're going to be talking about it this Thursday, tomorrow actually, on the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast. So if you want to check that out, make sure you're following us at Pot on the Mark. Let's go to the chat real quick before we get into this show that's happening in October. The Great Brown Hope's in the chat. He said, "We out here." Good to see him. Hassan also there. He said, "Hi there, guys." And Great Brown Hope saying, "I don't clock out for 2 hours, but I'm still here." Look at that. Watching the stream at work. You love to see it. But Tino, you said you haven't been to an NXT show. I'm curious, Jordan, have you ever got to see NXT live?
Yeah, I went to NXT Takeover Chicago 2.
I was there.
I did go to that one. I went to that War Games, but I've never been to like a weekly show. So
Right.
I've been to a War Games. That was insane. That made me like completely fall back. Like after watching that live, that was crazy. But so
Yeah, that was the one where Kevin Owens returned. Was that the one you were at, Jordan?
No, I was there with the Ciampa Gargano street fight.
that was a better one.
Yeah.
Shoot.
So this will be your second time seeing NXT live, then, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Look at your boy Jadis is in the chat. He said, "Ew, it's
Jadis,
Tino."
you're supposed to come in here and say nice things. What's up,
He
Jadis?
gave you an LOL at least, so obviously he's kidding.
No, at least he showed up. We appreciate you, Jadis. Thank you for coming by.
We do appreciate you stopping by, Jadis. He's always active in your chat, Tino. If they don't know about what you're doing over on your channel, why don't you tell the listeners a little bit about it?
Well, I'm doing a lot of like everything, with everything that's been going on with the wrestling and stuff, and all the pay-per-views and everything. Obviously, do all the wrestling stuff, and I do still do the baseball and football stuff, but kind of trying to lean a different way, but little by little. But football season, baseball season's coming to an end. Thank goodness. If I have to root for this team anymore, I'm gonna scream on the top of my lungs. But we got some big news coming up, and thanks to Jordan. Jordan's been helping a lot, setting stuff up. So shout out to Jordan for helping me with a lot of things. But I'm excited to start telling stuff what we got coming up in the next few months because big things happen, and we making main event moves on this network, man. All of us. So
that's what we're doing. Hashtag main event moves. Jordan, a lot of people might not know this, but you are the founder of Elite Endorsements. If they are not quite familiar with what you do. Why don't you tell our listeners about your background?
So we're a company that books talent for public appearances, signings, indie shows, matches, podcasts, all that stuff. And we help, if there's someone you want to do an interview with, we'll help get that set up. And if it's not a talent that we represent, we've got a great partnership with Heated Shenanigans Entertainment, who they represent a lot of the big names. They just signed RBD today. So that's huge. And so everyone's out here in the industry is making some big moves, and love seeing everyone succeed. So,
any big moves on the horizon for you?
As of today, we will be working with Bobby Fish to get him appearances, podcasts, signings, matches, you name it. We'll be helping him get some more stuff out there and hopefully get him a little more bookings out here in the Midwest. So our main event fans can go check him out.
Yeah, and very fitting that we're talking about NXT tonight because Bobby Fish, mainly known for his days in the Undisputed Era, which was one of the best factions in the WWE for this past decade. So congrats, by the way, on getting that deal done. Bobby Fish now a part of Elite Endorsements right there. So
getting all the big names now.
That's breaking news right there. So if you wanna, book any of Jordan's talents, make sure you're following him on X. What's your handle again on X?
I believe my handle is Jordan Cameron 12 on Elite Endorsements. My Instagram is Elite Endorsements or Endorsements Elite. Got to check that really quick. It's been nonstop blowing up today. A lot of calls, a lot of stuff, a lot of bookings going on. Mr. Kate also hottest free agent right now with Bobby Stevenson. You could also book them for your podcast, matches, appearances, signings, you name it, through us too. We'll get you taken care of, and appreciate it. The Great Brown Hope.
Man, I mean, shout out to Jordan for helping me get that Damon Kemp interview. If you have not yet, I could definitely go check it out on my channel. That was Jordan, should we just break the news now, or do you want to wait to tell the people?
Go ahead.
Well, so thanks to Jordan and thanks to everybody that's been along, we will be having the newly signed to Elite Endorsement 2 and on the channel next Monday. Bobby Fish, guys, coming on Tino's Time. So thank you to Jordan for helping setting that up and everything. I cannot wait to have it. More people got so appreciate you, Jordan, setting all this stuff up, and I cannot wait for that conversation. So definitely go check out Tino's Time and get ready for it. Going to be exciting 12 on Monday. So it's going to be a good conversation. I'm excited for it. So again, Jordan, thank you for helping me set that up, man. I do appreciate it.
Yeah, big things happening over at Tino's Times channel. So I cannot wait to see that.
Can't do it without you guys. You're huge help.
This is true. Jordan gonna work for LeBron James next?
I mean,
hold on, wait. LeBron is someone way out of my league, and respectfully, I really enjoy wrestling, and I would love to stick with this.
Who is the LeBron James of wrestling? That's my question. I think it could be CM Punk just because of how polarizing he is.
Man. I said John Cena a couple days ago. I asked him, and I was like,
that's Jordan to me. That's Michael Jordan. John Cena and Michael Jordan, they go hand in hand. That's my opinion, at least.
All right, let me ask you a question really quick, Kyle.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. In NBA comparisons to wrestling, okay?
Yeah.
Who's your Steph Curry?
I'm going to go Seth Rollins.
I was going to say, yep.
Or Will Ospreay. Because Steph Curry is just electric, and every time Will Ospreay and Seth Rollins go out into the ring, it's fantastic stuff. I think that would probably be my comparison there.
I think that's a
fun little game.
That's a fun little one. We should keep doing that sometime.
See, look at Jada said it too. Seth, we're on the same page. Love to see it. But boys, what do we say we get into what is going to be going down on the CW October 1st?
Do you think Seth shows up? He's not too far. If he's in Iowa, he's not too far from Chicago. So that would be
kind of like lean into the Chicago stuff too, since he's a Bears fan. It would make sense. Maybe
he's got the history with AAW.
Oh, yeah. Just throwing it out there. You never know. Say it happens, then go back.
Look at the great brown hope
Obafemi.
saying Obafemi is the LeBron of WWE. Let's pump the brakes there. I get the comparison though because LeBron had a lot of hype behind him. He was the chosen one. Obafemi's kind of that too, so I kind of see what he's saying, but he's just not there quite yet. So let's talk about CM Punk because that's obviously the big thing that's being advertised for the show. It happening at the Allstate Arena, basically CM Punk's home crowd right there. So I'm excited to see this, but like the comments were saying, Ava did announce that next week on NXT that CM Punk has an announcement for the NXT universe. Tino, I'm going to go to you first. I'm kind of curious on what that could be about. Do you have any idea of what CM Punk might be doing on this show?
We're also having they made that match official last night too. It's Trick and Ethan for the title at the show, right?
Yeah.
Because I was going to say maybe he faces the winner. I think maybe he'll be in a match. I'll say he'll take on somebody that like. I think maybe he'll be in a match because that's why they want to announce it before. So then that's, maybe that's what he'll be doing. I don't know, but that's what I was kind of thinking about because if he was just going to come out and talk, why would they do it 2 weeks before, So.
No, that's a good point. I wouldn't be mad about it.
Match on NXT, maybe.
Okay, Jordan, with CM Punk being there, do you think it would be beneficial for them to actually run a match or you think he's there kind of just to, enhance the storylines already going on in NXT?
If he's gonna do anything, I don't see him wrestling on NXT. To be completely honest, yeah. I think it hurts him more than it helps him. I could see him being like a special guest referee with Trick and Ethan. But at the same time,
that's a good call.
Like the only match I would really want to see with Punk is Joe Hendry. To be completely honest, but
that would be electric.
Man, if we see Joe Hendry too, I'm done. This is the best show ever.
I don't see it happening, to be realistic. I mean, let's be honest. Punk's not going to wrestle NXT.
It would be a lot to ask out of one of your top names to wrestle in NXT. But hey, if he's going to be there, it doesn't hurt to ask the question. Great Brown Hope says, CM Punk gets interrupted by Gallus, sets up a match with Mark Coffey. I think that would be fine. Kind of just, taking one of those lower end guys in NXT and trying to get a good match out of them. But Jadis did ask, did you guys see the Bloodline on NXT last night? Yes, we did. And I don't know about you guys, but I thought that was probably the best presentation of the Bloodline that we have seen. At least Bloodline 2.0, that is.
Especially without Solo. They looked, I don't know why, they looked better. Like that picture of them at with their, I don't know. I just felt like I'd be kind of scared of that group. So, I don't know.
Maybe
at first I didn't know who it was.
Off more often? Is that what it's got to be? I think that's why.
No, please no.
I'll tell you what, Tama Tonga is jacked. I did not know that.
I wish I was in Tama Tonga's shape. Shoot.
Yeah, me too. That ain't going to happen. But
nah.
Yeah, Jordan, you got anything else to add about what potentially CM Punk could be doing?
I don't know. I really don't see how you make him fit into the NXT card right now for that show. I mean, they're hyping it up like it's a pay-per-view. So, like, how do you fit Punk in there? How do you fit him in there and make it make sense? You know what I mean?
Well, and they already got a lot going on. We have 2 title matches that we're going to talk about a little later. Those are kind of the headliners. And you also have another main roster star coming in. It looks like they're going to be doing a Miz TV segment as well. Once again, we are not sure who that is going to involve. I don't think they announced who's going to be a part of that. But the fact that we are getting Miz TV on an NXT show goes off of what Jordan was saying, Tino. This really feels like a PLE that we're going to be seeing.
Yeah. Yeah, and another thing I kind of mentioned, and this is something that they haven't done in a while, but what if CM Punk is maybe in like the side of like Roxanne because it's obvious like his wrestling daughter, or maybe they'll make him like where he makes like a couple matches, like he's like co-GM with Ava or something. I don't know, because after Jordan said that, there was just he's right. That what he's going to fit in, and I feel like so just wanted to mention that. But what was your question again?
No, you're good. But Cody kind of did the same thing when he showed up on NXT. He was like the co-GM, so I could see Punk doing something like that. It just seems like there's a lot going on where they don't really need him to wrestle on this card. But it's going to be exciting regardless, and getting The Miz is just another cherry on top. But the main roster talent is not going to stop just there, guys, because the women's tag team champions are going to also be on the CW debut in Chicago. Once again, we do not know exactly what they are going to be doing, but Jordan, I think it's safe to say that we probably will see them defend those titles, and the first group that came to mind for me would probably be the Fatal Influence. Maybe get Fallon Henley and JC Jane a match against the tag team champions. What do you think about that?
I mean, I think so, but like, my thought is, we don't. I mean, this is the perfect time for a debut. I think, like, it's unannounced. You don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
I wish I could be like, oh yeah, I want like so and so or whoever to debut, but like, I don't know, man. I feel like this is the time. Maybe we get someone from like TNA. We get like Jordan Grace and Ash by Elegance or something. This could set up that. I feel like they would do that though for the women's match because there's not a lot of NXT beside Wentz on the card.
Yeah, no, that's true. And they've really been leaning into the TNA NXT relationship as of late. I mean, look at Hammerstone. He showed up and he faced Obafemi, and that was another great match. And just that relationship as a whole, Tino, how have you felt about it? Like TNA, NXT, I think it's been beneficial for both.
It just brought more excitement to, and like NXT for a while there, like just I don't know, it just wasn't like what it once was, and it finally, like, since they started doing this, especially with Joe Hendry and everything, it just seems like they're starting to get it. Where it's like last night, like I was seeing people that I have not seen watch it or go live for it in months, where it just like, it's like it's starting to become like that weekly show again that you need to watch. And I just like, even like yesterday watching that, like I saw a spoiler that it was Hammerstone. But like watching Tony D'Angelo give money to somebody that we didn't know who it was, like I love that type of stuff, and not like the unpredictability where it's question marks, and we could see people from TNA show up, and that would be. I love, that's what I love about wrestling, because I hate the spoilers, I hate not knowing, and the TNA aspect just brings a whole new thing to it, that because they're not really going to the main roster, they're only going to NXT, so. That's the one thing that I've really enjoyed about it. And it helps me kind of learn a lot of these TNA guys that I may not have learned, just because, I always say it, I can't watch all the wrestling where, there's just a lot of wrestling on throughout the week. So
there's a crap ton of wrestling going on. It
so,
is so hard. I understand, dude. We all got lives outside of it. But speaking of that TNA relationship, Jordan, is there any other names that we haven't seen in TNA that you would like to see cross that bridge?
I mean, I don't know. My main thought comes to my head, and it's not directly going to answer your question, but like, what does TNA get in return out of this? Because you've got all of TNA's stars, you're going straight there. But like, yeah, okay, they're sending some people over, but like, who's going to step foot to make it worth it for TNA? You know what I mean? Like, if I saw a headline of like, Charlie Dempsey's going to be on TNA, cool. Probably wouldn't tune in, wouldn't move the needle for me.
Or that guy from like Chase U that nobody really knows.
Right, but then you got like, if AJ Styles went back to TNA, I bet you I'm tuning in. But like things like that, though, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what TNA is going to get out of this. Like, yeah, it's bringing more
some
eyes
matches.
there.
Like Wendy Chu's going to be facing Jordan Grace at their pay-per-view this week. It's not a big name. I get what you're. I think that's what you're kind of saying. Like, there's not a big name going over to TNA.
But like, send Tiffany Stratton over. Doesn't hurt her to lose to Jordan Grace. Does not hurt her one bit, in my opinion.
It might.
And Chelsea Green
she's on
back
the main roster, and she's
right. Chelsea, she just did NXT last night. Send her over.
Chelsea would bring eyeballs over. That's
so like things like that. That's what I want to see out of this relationship.
Give and take relationship. Big name,
Exactly. No, it's got to be like fair trade. It's like if it's sports.
I will say, Toluca and Jordan Grace put on a good match last night. I really enjoyed that. They did good for what they were given last night.
I was very excited to see Soul answer that call, because that's only going to elevate her. Even if she didn't get the win there, it's just going to make her look great, and she did look good. So did Jordan. But we do have a lot of comments here trickling in, so let's pull up a lot of these comments here. Gray Brown Hope said the transition of making NXT a third brand is coming full circle. They're going to keep sending more stars down there. Yep, absolutely agree with you there, Gray Brown Hope. J-Dog asks, what's better, Cody on NXT or Punk? He's going to say Punk, but it might be better, depends on if Punk is the GM or not. I think it's kind of a wash. They're both superstars.
And we also can't forget the week after Chicago, Randy Orton's going to show up in St. Louis. So, that's a whole nother thing. And I know that this is not the St. Louis episode, but, so I'm really interested to see what these,
Yeah, you never know. Stay tuned on the main event socials. Steve, our good friend Steve from SCW Wrestling Channel said,
what's up, Steve?
Punk impressed with Julia's debut, could announce the breakout tournaments this year, and perhaps saying he knows who that breakout superstar is. Perhaps the debut of Delta or Stephanie Valkyrie. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, that could be true. Announcing like a tournament or something. I just feel like they're like, because there's got to be some the reason why he's coming 2 out of 3 weeks, you know? Because I feel like if he was just gonna go out there and announce something too, like I feel like it, like I don't know, unless they're gonna start it in Chicago. I wonder if maybe the first match or something will be in Chicago. Maybe that's why they're having them do it.
Maybe. I guess we'll find out, guys.
There's a lot of stuff. I don't know how they're going to fit all this in 2 hours. Are we getting an extra half hour or something? Because there's a lot of stuff to fit in these 2 hours.
Yeah, now that you've mentioned it, there is a lot of shit going on. That's
there's
maybe they'll have a little bit of an overrun. Maybe it's an overrun now that they're going to the CW. Who knows? But Steve says true. Josh Alexander is the main one for me. Moose would be another. Yeah, those are 2 names that would be interesting to see cross that bridge. But Great Brown Hope, last comment I'm going to pull up here. Said, I think WWE covers their pay in exchange for their appearances. So if Superstar A were to get paid X amount of dollars to wrestle on Impact, that's what WWE would pay them for an appearance. Yeah, that would make a lot of sense. I don't know if it's 100% true, but I get what you're saying there, Great Brown Hope. But we got 3 more matches we're going to talk about here, and we can actually give our predictions for these because we know these matchups are happening. Jordan, I'm going to go to you first for this one. I know you got some ties with the Rascal Boys. They've been doing some great stuff on NXT and TNA, of course, and we're going to get that street fight, kind of a revenge match for Wes Lee, who was unable to get the victory on the last PLE. Do you think Wes Lee gets revenge here in Chicago?
Yeah, but I don't think he does it alone.
Who do you think Trey's going to turn?
No, I think it's the young goat, Myron Reed.
Oh.
I think that's how they set it up, dude. I am praying for this.
You look so excited like that if it's getting bad. Oh, just being there live would just, oh, man.
So you think we're going to get a surprise in this match? I mean, dude, it is a street fight. So, no DQ doesn't matter.
Or is this where it starts for Survivor games or Survivor Series and you get NXT and TNA?
Man,
because we are coming up on that.
Yeah, and they just announced it's going to be in Vancouver, I think, this year. Yeah. So
this could be the start. I could see Survivor Series being NXT and TNA.
You throw in the Bloodline War Games match that I think we're inevitably going to get. You got a card right there. That's got to be the main event. Bloodline.
Do you have 3 then with the women too?
You could, but that's probably overkill.
I feel like it's going to be too much though if you have 3.
Yeah.
2 I feel like that sweet spot.
Because think about it, a War Games match goes 40 minutes, probably 47 minutes. So you're having 2 of those matches, you're looking at like an hour and a half right there.
Yeah, that's true.
Unless you have 3 War Game matches and then a Survivor Series.
That's it.
Something.
Yeah. Just do what? Yeah, you could I'm down as well. I think we all would be okay with that.
I'm fine with that. Shoot.
Hassan's going with Zach Wentz to win this match. I'm going to disagree with him. I think Wes Lee's going to get his revenge here. I was surprised that Wentz even got the win. I was on record on my podcast saying I didn't think any TNA superstars were actually going to get wins on, WWE PLEs. I was wrong. Hand up. But at this moment, this match on the CW, I think the trajectory for Wes Lee is just going to keep rising. So I think he picks up the win here. Tino, what about you?
Yeah, I agree, and I also think that this may not be the last match. As Jordan said, we could see this something in War Games, and we could see something else. So this feels like I'm getting like those, like we talked about Chicago, like I'm getting those Tommaso Ciampa, Johnny Gargano like rivalry type of vibes again. Like I don't know, like there's that feeling that I get that even when I go back and watch these old shows, like I go back and watch them all the time. I'm starting to get that same feeling with some of these promos and like the way they're like. I feel they hate each other, and we all know they don't, but like. It just, what I mean? Like, they want to rip each other's heads off, and it's so fun.
Yeah, and that's the benefit of the TNA and NXT relationship. You could do stuff like this with a Wes Lee, who is not in any title scene currently, but he's a guy that usually is, gives him something important to do. So I think we're all going with Wes Lee here, though, to pick up the win in the street fight. Should be a lot of fun, but these 2 matches are the marquee matches. This is what's putting butts in seats right here. Roxanne Perez looking to defend her women's title against the newly signed Julia, who just made her debut last night against Chelsea Green, which I can't think of a better opponent for Julia to face off with first in WWE, then Chelsea Green, because you can just give her anything and she's going to shine, guys. What did you think about Julia's debut match last night?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I mean, I definitely like. I'm excited to see, and I think they're gonna put the rocket ship on her, and I think she's gonna like go to the moon with just the way they're making her just feel and just the debut and everything. Because like we've been waiting for this. Like Julia's been like you know what I mean. Like it's been a minute since we saw her in the crowd, so it's finally nice to see her in action now. And the fact that we're gonna be there live for her like first like big match, I'm excited for it. So.
As am I, because I'm not too familiar with Julia. Obviously, I know she came over from Stardom. Jordan, are you familiar with Julia's work, or are you kind of like me and just getting a taste of it right now?
Kind of like you on that one.
Yeah,
definitely like you. I think Roxanne's getting called up though.
So Julia's walking away with the title, in your opinion?
100%. It's time for Roxanne to get pulled up.
Yeah, right. And what's crazy is Roxanne's only 22 still. Like, she's got plenty of time, and we're already saying she's ready for the main roster, which is crazy. But I agree with Jordan. I think Julia's definitely going to pick up the victory here. I'd be very shocked if for her first title match that she actually loses clean. And like Jordan said, I mean, Roxanne's ready to go. What do you got to say, Jordan?
Is this where Steph makes her debut, though, and they set up the match between both of them?
Steph versus Julia?
Yep. And you just let him go like Carmelo and Andrade, like that guy said.
Yeah. No, that could definitely be something. I wouldn't hate that. Tino, for this match itself, though, who's walking away with the women's championship?
So I do agree, and with my gut, I'm going to say Julia wins, but I do believe that the only way Roxanne does win and walks out as champion is some type of DQ or some type of shenanigans or whatever, because I don't think they're going to have Julia lose. And I agree. I think it's time for Roxanne to be called up. And as if Stephanie does debut, you just got to that they bring Stephanie in and Roxanne goes up and they replace Stephanie with Roxanne. And that's kind of like, you know what I mean? Like that's kind of what they have been doing. Where if like you've noticed, that's why like I feel like some of these people haven't been called up because they just are trying to find people to replace them to make sure, you know what I mean? So that's why it's like I think Julia is gonna win. And as Jordan said, I think it's just time. It's way overdue. I mean, she's been in the last 2 Royal Rumbles. I think I can't wait to see what she does and see how far she can go on the main roster because I think she'll be champion by very shortly in the main roster.
I would be surprised if she doesn't win a belt right away when she's called up. Even if they have to introduce a mid-card title for her, kind of like they did in NXT, I think that would be a great start for her. But a light bulb did go off when you were talking, Tino. What if this is the place and the time for Cora Jade to return? Cora Jade is from Chicago.
I wanted to say it. I just got chills when you said her name, bro, because I've even said it, and I've said it a lot on my shows too, like just in the past with NXT and everything. I think that eventually we're getting Cora and Roxanne teamed back up together as the same because we saw them fight each other. But I think and that's why I say some type of shenanigans. What if Cora does return, and because as you said, it's her hometown, and everybody's from Chicago's coming. Shoot, we might see Maria.
Who knows? Cora Jade, though, versus Julia would make a lot of sense. Jordan, would that be something that we could potentially see? Do you like the idea of Cora Jade maybe returning here?
Yeah, I mean, I do. But, you have Cora come back. Who's losing that match? It's going to hurt them both,
Between Cora and Julia?
Yeah.
That's tough.
Someone's going to have to lose. You know what I mean? And Cora's a beast. So, it's a toss-up for me. But it doesn't – I mean, it's not bad. It's just I don't think – that would be something that I'd want to see at the end of the show to set up.
Yeah.
I don't think you need to do that at, the beginning,
It also would be pretty cool if Cora just showed up and beat the shit out of Roxanne before the match. I mean, and then you can have Roxanne go into the match injured, and that is the story. Yeah. That would make a lot of sense, too.
I'm here for that.
Yeah, we're just fantasy booking this.
Maybe you have, the women's match start off first in the middle of the night, and then as, Roxanne walks out, Cora beats the crap out of her, whatever, back, matches off. She comes back out. We're going main event. See you later.
Main event. Yeah, I think.
Yep. That's what I'd want to see as a main event.
I agree with you. I don't know about you, Tino. I think the women should main event this show, but something tells me they're probably going to go with Ethan Page and Trick Williams.
I think, and I think it all depends. Like what the first match is. It's going to be a big telling of what it is. Like, you know what I mean? Like if we start off with Ethan and Trick, I think we get in the main event for the win. But if the, you know what I mean? Like I think that's kind of like, because it's just so hard to tell where it's like that's like, you know. But I agree with you. I think that's the way they should do it, and have the women, because I feel like we've had Trick and Ethan main event, and you know, I think especially if they do have something, that's what, you know. So should be interesting to see what they come up with in the next couple of weeks. If we get that before, or we got to wait till like the Monday before, like the month, you know, like September 30th or whatever it is.
Yeah, and we've already, like you said, we've already seen Ethan and Trick. We know how that goes. That's not saying it's going to be bad. I'm really excited for that.
And
match,
I think that'd be a great match to start off with. Let's whoop that Trick in the beginning.
Yeah.
You know, I'm ready to get that would be a great way to get the crowd hyped. To you right away is you have Trick Williams come out, because, you know,
Jordan, you look like you got something to say.
Yeah, I just thought of some light bulb, like you said. We've already seen Ethan and Trick. So what if Miz TV is a stipulation like steel cage match?
Oh, so they set it up on Miz TV?
Yep, they set it up.
Ooh,
they set that up, because that then makes sense for why Miz is there, because 9 times out of 10, someone with Miz TVs always ends in a brawl. So
that's true. That's very true.
Why not set it up with the cage coming down?
Yeah, you know, sign me up. More steel cage matches. Just don't be as brutal as the AEW All Out one we saw. That was insane to watch.
I love it. Keep it going.
It was.
I want flamethrowers next time.
He said, "I want." Is this like Borderlands or Halo or
Borderlands?
That's the first thing that came to my head.
No, that's a good comparison right there. But guys, we got one more match we're going to talk about and wrap things up. I got to get to dinner here very shortly. We got the NXT title on the line, which could be the main event, like we were saying, between Ethan Page and Trick Williams. Tino, let me go to you first. Like we said earlier, obviously this one happened already. Is now the time for Trick Williams to get that title back, or do you think this is maybe a way to send Trick Williams to the main roster if he loses?
Man, I don't know, because that's going to be it's going to be really interesting, because honestly, I kind of thought Pete was going to win last night. Like I really I thought for a second, and when Trick ended up winning, like we've seen it before, and it just one of those things that I don't know with Trick, that it's, I don't know. I keep going back and forth on this one, so I just keep saying that Ethan's going to win and we're going to see something, but I think that'd be a great thing to do. We're seeing I don't know if they'd want to put them right back together, but I mean, we're seeing Melo and Andrade on the main roster. If Trick loses, why not have Trick go and go back team up with Melo, or go and see him do his, you know what I mean? So I'm going to say Ethan wins this, and they continue with the NX, what is it that he says?
Me. That's
NX Me. There we go. Yeah. So the NX Me, and we're going to continue that. So I'm going to say that Ethan wins this match.
Ethan Page is doing some good stuff. I mean, he's not taking all the headlines right now in NXT, Jordan, but I like him as champion. I just don't know if they have a vision for him long term. So what do you think for this match here on the CW? Do you think it's time for Trick to get that title back?
Here's the thing, and this is all I'm going to say, because my mindset on this probably isn't like yours or Tino's. If Ethan drops the belt, which is a very good possibility, do we see some sort of faction with Cody, Ethan, and Starks if Starks goes to WWE to then go after the Bloodline?
Shit. That gives me something to do.
But if Ethan's already over as he is in NXT, right? And you've got Trick, who's kind of done it all already. So, either these guys can go up. Personally, I think having Trick and Melo as a tag team on the main roster, dumbest decision possible. Have them triple threat every single Friday with Andrade. I'm completely happy. But I think if for some reason Trick wins, Ethan Page has to go to the main roster immediately and help Cody with the Bloodline, because that's the needle mover for me.
I didn't even think about that, the possibility of Ethan Page potentially making that jump to the main roster if he were to lose. But
or is this where Ricky Starks comes in?
It sure as well could be. You know, I wouldn't put it
Does
past them.
Ricky have any ties to Chicago other than obviously being at every AEW show that was there?
No, I don't think he's
I don't
got
think
any
so.
Chicago
No.
ties, but it is a good spot to debut unless they don't want to blow their load, so to say, and save it for St. Louis. You know, you could save it for a week later because you got Randy on that card, but we haven't heard anything else. So they got to have a big moment happen there. I'm surprised they didn't split up these title matches here with the women and the men's. But this match itself, I think Trick Williams is walking away with the NXT title. I don't know what it is. It just seems like they're kind of building him up to be that guy again. I think Trick actually has a little bit more to do in NXT. I don't know if he's quite ready for the main roster. When he does get called up to the main roster, though, I think he probably should feud again with Carmelo Hayes. I think they should just reignite that flame. That'd be the introduction feud for Trick Williams when he gets that call up. But the Ethan Page idea with Cody and all them, I would love that. I don't know if it's going to happen. I want Ethan Page to win. I'm going to be wearing my Ethan Page shirt. I will be chanting, whoop that trick. Fuck you. I can cheer for both because I like them both. But I am going with Trick Williams to become the new NXT champion. So that is the card for October 1st. CW debut for NXT in Chicago. Tino, Jordan, and myself will be there live. So if you are also going to be attending that show, make sure you hit us up. We can say hi, take a picture, and all that good stuff. But last question I will ask for you guys. On a scale of 1 to 10, Tino, how excited are you for this show?
Well, we still have 2 weeks left. Well, hopefully they might add more, but I mean, right now, like a 12 out of 10 because I just it's like I said, it's my first like Tuesday show of NXT. Like I was at one War Games on that Saturday and stuff, but I don't know, and I'm very excited to see how it looks in the Allstate Arena because we see it in like where they're at right now and everything. I just want to see like. So I am just so excited, and I like 12 out of 10. I'll be screaming like a 12-year-old girl. I still get chills thinking about the Chicago show, man. Like I don't even know how that's almost been a year already. Like
right?
The fact that Survivor War Games is coming back up, and him talking about all those War Game matches, I'm like, dang, So,
time flies when you're watching wrestling every single day.
It really does. 12 out of 10, man.
Jordan, excitement levels to spend a whole entire day with me, get to sleep in the same hotel room as me.
Oh, poor Jordan.
For that is like a 15 out of 10. I'm very excited to hang out with you. For the show itself, don't hate it. Probably like an 8 or 7 or 8. Now here's why. I want to see what they're doing with Ms. TV and Jaden Bianca, because I would love to see, I mean this from the bottom of my heart, I would love to see a killer match with Jaden Bianca, but like I would love to see it and be like, damn, that's good. You know what I mean? So like I'm just trying to think of who I would be like, oh shit, I want to see them wrestle. But as long as we get Joe Hendry, that's all it's going to matter to me.
Better.
If you say his name, he appears. That's what
just keep saying it.
So for the next couple weeks, guys, just in a normal conversation, bring up Joe Hendry's name. Maybe he'll appear for us. Who knows? But yeah, I'm very excited for this one. 10 out of 10 excitement for me. NXT, like we kind of all alluded to it, feels like it's back. It kind of feels like the black and gold era. It, for me, is my favorite weekly watch. I just love seeing these young up-and-comers get development in that NXT system. I think what they are doing down there is absolutely fantastic. But all that being said, Jordan, you got one more final remark?
I have a question for you guys.
Yeah.
Is NXT back?
Oh, yeah. They've been back. I think NXT is a better weekly product than AEW. I know that's going to get a lot of heat. That's just me.
It flows better. I think that's the biggest thing. Like I watched like Tuesday nights, like I was watching yesterday, and all of a sudden I looked at the clock and it was like 8:40. And sometimes for AEW, I'm just like, oh my god, it's 7:40. Let's like get this going. Like,
Yeah, no, I agree.
I love NXT and I love AEW, but I strongly disagree with that because tonight is like the Raw after WrestleMania for AEW. So I'm very, very intrigued to see what happens tonight. I will be tuning in live to AEW, by the way, for the first time.
Will you be live tweeting it?
Only for you.
I just made that comment because that's like a common thing that us people do on the IWC. I'll be live tweeting this. I've done it.
I
I'm sure
don't live
Tino's
tweet
done
at
it.
all.
Yeah,
I don't
I'm a
live
big
tweet
live
at all.
tweeter. So if you do want to
I'll
follow
live
me at
text you,
Too
though.
Sweet Con, huh?
I'll live text you though through it.
I'll live text.
Maybe I'll just pay Jordan to be my social media manager when we're in Chicago for NXT. I'll be like, everything I say, just tweet it out, Jordan. Every
There you
single
go.
thought.
You know the
20
get back
bucks.
coach in the NFL?
Yeah.
Am
I'll
I
give you a
the get
headset
back
and
coach?
everything.
Yeah. Oh, dude, that would be
Set.
awesome.
We're going to have a
Yeah.
grand old time there. But guys,
That-
don't forget to follow
that'd
us
be-
on all
that'd
the
be so funny.
socials. At @main_event_net. We are on TikTok. We are on Instagram. We are on X. So make sure you're following us there. And of course, you are going to be watching this on YouTube. So don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. We are 10 subscribers away from 50. I know it's a small number, but we just celebrated our 1-year anniversary. So brick by brick, we are going to cook over here. We're mixing things up. But also, don't forget, we have merchandise available at the OnTheMarkWrestlingPodcast.com. Go ahead and get some main event merch. We got some very cool retro logos available. We got crew necks. It's the fall. It's going to get a little chilly. I think you guys should go pick yourself up one, and you can go to the OnTheMarkWrestlingPodcast.com and get yourself some main event merch. So, for Tino, for Jordan, I myself am Mr. OTM. This has been another episode of the Main Event Mixer. We'll see you next time.